Your business needs help. 56.1 million employees are employed by small businesses in the United States, and 99% of all U.S. establishments are small businesses under 250 employees. That means that your business should be listening to the only podcast dedicated to small business success. That's Growth Success Radio, growthsuccessradio.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Growth Success Radio. Good morning and welcome to episode 36 of Growth Success Radio. I am one of your co-hosts. Let me put my mug shot up. Scott GOmbar, and my co-host Eugene Resnitsky has also joined us. Good morning, Eugene.
Good morning.
We have Kevin Grinder of Grinder Photography. Is that right? Is it called
Yes.
Grinder Photography? Okay, awesome. So this show, we come live every week, 11 a.m. Friday mornings, to talk to business owners about challenges, successes, growth, marketing, and so on and so forth, and good stuff, and whether or not they should be with Traeger Insurance for their insurance. No, we don't actually force people to do that. The show is sponsored by Traeger Insurance, apparently Dunkin' Donuts this morning. Dunkin' Donuts, you owe us some money. And Scott GOmbar Digital Marketing. And again, we are live every Friday. And if you do want to watch past episodes, you can go to growthsuccessradio.com, or you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Sprout Connections, YouTube, and a whole bunch of other places. We would spend the entire episode going through the list if I had to do that. So Eugene, tell us about Traeger Insurance.
Sure. We are a independent insurance agency based out of Meriden, Connecticut. So what independent means is we can fit a square peg into a round hole when it comes to insurance. So we take the client's information, shop out to the market, find the best possible coverage for the most optimal basis, regardless of company.
Awesome, and I can actually now vouch for that. So, well, that's not true. Traeger's had my homeowner's insurance for a while now.
You can vouch for it twice.
Right, so now twice because I'm switching my auto over to them.
Right.
Scott GOmbar Digital Marketing, what we do and what I'm passionate about is helping businesses grow and become more successful and line their pockets with gold. Well, not gold. Cash.
Oh.
It's supposedly supported by gold, but not really. Anyway, we want no political stuff on here. No politics today, all right? Eugene, any updates in the insurance world?
Well, yeah, you actually helped me find one when you posted or you liked an article from some attorney about the lawsuit that's going on. So that's a big lawsuit. So Tesla has a self-driving car that got into an accident while being on autopilot, and the person ended up passing. So the person's family is now suing Tesla. So it's a huge lawsuit because it's probably the first one of its kind where somebody's actually suing a company of a self-driving car for fault. So that's kind of going to set the precedent as these companies release more of these self-driving vehicles, is to determine who's at fault. Is the driver at fault? Is the company at fault? So it's going to be an interesting case to see what happens.
That's I saw that you guys shared that post, and so I'll tell you the story behind that. That's the personal injury attorney that I handle the marketing for, so I wrote that blog post.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry, not that. There was a blog post tied to that. I did not write that post.
I think I posted the article from.
Yeah, it was from there was another post that I wrote that tied to that. Yeah. So I think I just wasted my one update. So there you go. I work for a personal injury attorney. That's one of my clients. And the attorneys are coming out of the woodworks, man. But that's okay. I like that. They pay the bills. So with us this week, we have Kevin Grinder of Grinder Photography. Kevin, take a moment and tell us about you and your business.
Been in the business about over 30 years now. Started back in Iowa, where I'm originally from. Been in Seattle, I've been New York City, and I've done lots of different things in the industry. I was in retail, worked for one of the top portrait photographers in Cedar Rapids. Probably the best place I worked for 10 years was in New York City for an art gallery, helping photograph artwork and doing the black and white printing of it, which helped me learn a lot about art, especially because that's a great way to get ideas for different photo sessions. So, but I live here in Milford with my wife and 2 kids who are getting ready to go off to college, and trying to stay dry today and watching out for the pirate ship behind me. They haven't done anything yet, but
you never know.
You can't stay dry with that picture.
Yeah.
it's either that or my messy office. So
Kevin, your business is a millennial, huh?
Millennial.
Yeah, it's 30-something years old, like Eugene over here. So it's a millennial.
Okay.
And there he goes again with the Dunkin' Donuts sponsorship. Were we getting paid for every time you show the cup?
Yes.
Awesome.
You gotta monetize everything, Scott.
That's right.
All right, so Kevin, the next couple of questions we're going to ask is more specifically tailored to the marketing aspect of your business. So the first question I have is, we know that you're obviously involved in BNI, but we're just curious, what other marketing strategies do you use?
I do some direct mail. I do email, but large amount of my business comes from word of mouth, from my clients, and just getting out there, and also doing a lot within the community. One of the reasons I have this background, for a couple of years I was at the when the pirates invaded downtown Milford, offering free pictures of the kids, no matter how old they were, in their costumes. And what better way for people to know who I am and then when they see me in action. So, but that's, it's changed a lot. In the old days, I put an ad in the newspaper and an ad in the phone book, and that would be it. Most people use their phone book today to level out the table. So,
Sure.
If they know where it is.
You kind of answered my next question, right? So the phone book, by the way, they throw it in my driveway. I run it over for a week or 2, and then I throw it in the garbage. It's pretty much what happens with it. But you kind of answered the next question. So you've been a photographer for a while. So how has marketing changed, and how's it staying the same during those 30 plus years?
Probably the big thing is there's more involved in the electronics. Like I said, it's the old days. You just put a couple ads out and people found you. It's the whole thing, and the whole thing is shifted in the fact of just the number. I don't know if I want to say the number of people out there, but it's really just getting the message out in a way that people are going to see it and pay attention to it. Probably that's why, at some point I should hire someone like you, Scott, to make sure I'm doing everything correct. Because it's people talk about, Twitter's the best way to do it, Instagram's the best way to do it, Facebook's the best way to do it. And then you'll hear people say, no, Facebook's dead, people are using Snapchat. It's confusing. I liked it better when it was, 2 sources, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right about that. Ideally, you need to find out where your ideal client is and then go there. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of resources, and if the person doesn't know where they should be, then they're hurting themselves. Facebook is far from dead, though.
Exactly. It's also how you use those different means. What do you use Facebook for versus what do you use Snapchat for versus Instagram or Twitter for. They all have their different uses depending on the business. So we have Josh thinks Instagram's for a photographer.
And there are a lot of photographers on Instagram. I will tell you that Instagram's popularity has plummeted since Snapchat has been since it's come to the forefront. Snapchat was the fastest growing social media platform, but now it's Pokemon Go. That won't last though.
No, that's like everything. And they come in waves and then they disappear. So, Kevin, do you use Instagram at all? Or do you use any other social media?
I have a Facebook page for my business as well as my personal. I do have an Instagram. The biggest challenge I always find out sometimes is remembering how to get stuff on there. So, and it's also taking the time. It's setting up a day or an hour or whatever to just sit down and make sure the stuff is current. Versus if I sit down and do an email, I send it out and I watch and see how many openings I get, and I don't have to worry too much. Everything else, it's is it current? Am I keeping up with it? Is it so?
Well,
Yep.
Like you said before, that's why you can hire somebody like Scott, who's an expert in all things social media and marketing. Right, Scott?
Digital, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm losing my expert because my son's heading off to college. So, because most of the time I say, okay, how do I do this? And he kind of, does that, roll the eyes, and okay, Dad, once again, here's how you do it.
See, the difference is I won't roll my eyes in front of you. No, I'm just kidding.
You'll wait until I leave.
That's right.
Yeah. No.
So,
And then he'll message me about it
That's right. On the golf course.
on the golf course. Kevin, how would you just say your photography is different than your competitions, and what style would you say your photography is?
well, there's a lot. Let's see. Probably the easiest way to answer is I focus more on the portraiture end of it, whether it be executive headshots, families, kids, model, like actors and actresses headshots. I do some boudoir, but it's more in the portrait end of it. Rather than trying to be, because really the generalist is gone. There's a couple of photographers that do general, they do everything, but they're in small markets. In an area like Milford, I've got everyone vying for the same business. Mm-hmm. And what really kind of sets me apart is for years my area, and I'm getting back to it, going old school, was black and white, and specifically black and white film. So I'm specializing more now in doing quality black and white portraiture, and continuing to play with, I love the word je ne sais quoi you get with film that you will never achieve with digital. And so if someone wants to pay the little extra, we'll do it on film, and they're going to get some spectacular pictures that no one else does. And that's what kind of sets me apart from everyone else. Besides for the fact, a lot of also what I do, I don't, when we're done with the session, I don't just throw the stuff on a web gallery and say, okay, pick out what you want. We're going to sit down and we're going to go through the pictures, and I'm going to help you pick out what you want. Especially since, if you want, say, a 4x5 and a 5x7, the cropping on it is different. So I'm going to make sure you get the picture you want the way you want it, versus just, okay, here's the page, contact me when you're done. And I guess the answer to that is I go the extra mile for people. If you order a wall hanging from me, if you want, I'll come in and hang it for you. because, having worked at an art gallery, I've become very familiar with how to properly hang a piece of art. So if it goes up there, it's going to stay up there and minimal, if any, damage to the wall. So.
It's interesting you're returning to black and white. My wife loves black and white pictures, so it's interesting. She's kind of old school though. She's got these cases and cases of books over here and on the other side of my wall, and I just walk around with my iPad with like the same amount of books. I don't know. So I do want to remind everyone, take a moment here to remind everyone that's watching. We've got a few visitors with us today. That the show sponsors for our show are Traeger Insurance Group and GOmbar Digital Marketing Agency, and we are currently giving away memberships to Network and Golf. You can go to golfandnetwork.com to sign up for that and get a 1-year premium membership for free once it launches. It should be launching soon.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for joining us this morning. You could be anywhere playing in the rain and the puddles, or, I don't know where you are in the world. Some of you, I know Josh is in Meriden, so he could be playing in the rain, and I think he might be at this point.
He is. I think he's outside in the puddles splashing around.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you only live once, right?
Yeah. But I do want to say one thing. Some of my favorite wedding pictures that we have are the black and white ones. So there's just something about them. I can't describe them, but some black and white photos look better than color.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some things that you really need to do color. One of the areas I'm working in right now is with tattooed people.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, I mean, a lot of these tattoos are brilliant colors that you can't do black and white. But in general, I think black and white is always better because you're not distracted by the color.
Mm-hmm.
So
that makes sense.
So, Kevin, I'm going to start with Eugene wrote the questions, and I know he favors iPhone over Android, so I'm going to edit this question slightly. Everyone with an iPhone or an Android phone can call themselves a photographer, but what does it mean to be a photographer and do it as a living for yourself?
I
mean, if I have a selfie stick and my Android phone,
yeah,
and there's all these crazy apps that I can edit photos, and so why can't I just say I'm a photographer? What's the difference?
Well, really anyone can be a photographer, but to be a creative photographer or a photographic artist, it's here and it's here. And really the whole iPhone thing is nothing new. Back in my days, it was the 110 and 126 and we used to call them PhD cameras, the press here dummy. And people would, take the pictures. Mainly for professional photographer, it's not just it's getting the right shot every time. I don't have to take 500 pictures to get 5 pictures for you. I'm always continuing to learn. That's why, I'm a member of the Professional Photographers of America. I'm a member of the Connecticut Professional Photographers Association. I'm a member of American Society of Media Photographers. And there's constantly seminars and workshops that keep me thinking of it like your accountant. They have to take a certain number of courses to stay current. If they're not, they lose their certificate. A professional photographer continues to learn, continues to hone their craft. And that's probably the biggest thing that separates me from most amateurs is I continue to learn and to continue to give you the best quality product day in and day out continuously over the other person. And it's also, let me add kind of as a question to you, of the pictures you take on your Android or your iPhone, how many of them see light of day after you've taken them?
Yeah, I was going to say, typically when I take pictures, there's quite a few, and it's not, most of them you'll never see again.
Well, it also depends who you ask. I know people that have like 2,000 selfies on their phone. and there's only 5 of them that they've ever posted. So it just depends on the person as well.
Yeah, I don't take a lot of selfies, but if I do it on Snapchat, so they're gone in 24 hours.
Yeah, it's.
Which
I mean, unless
isn't
you, I was gonna say, unless you're doing a selfie with someone famous or your best friend, they don't see light of day. And the other thing most professionals also offer is quality printing, and printing is not dead. A lot of people still prefer to have prints. Prints look great on my wall. I can't always remember to pull out my iPhone and find that picture quick to show you the kids.
Something else my wife loves. I have pictures on every wall in the house. It's like, if we ever sell this house, I'm going to be patching the walls for a week. Yeah. So that that's very true, and a lot of people still appreciate those things. So those are all good points. And from what I've been told, photographer knows the lighting and everything else when they take the picture. Like, I mean, just look at Eugene and I in the video right now. The lighting is terrible for us. I only see half of Eugene's face. He looks like what's the Batman villain that has half the face? What was it?
Two-Face?
Two-Face? Yes, that's what he looks like right now. And then I have like one side that's, I don't know, melting or something. I don't know what's going on with it. So there's a lot of that.
Well, I usually try to go for the good side, so that's why you only see half my face.
You should probably turn around then. But sorry. Eugene, you're up.
All right, Kevin, you and I had a quick conversation yesterday, and you mentioned something that I was hoping you could elaborate more on. You mentioned that you're trying to take photography back to its roots. Can you just elaborate on that and what you meant by that?
Well, I said earlier, it's a while back, it looked like film was dying, and it really hasn't. There's a certain look, there's a certain feel you get from film that you just, like I said, you just cannot achieve with digital. I just got, I changed labs. There's a lab I use out of California. I send my film off to, they develop it, they scan it. And when you look at the difference of a scan from a negative versus a digital that I've turned into black and white, there's a huge difference. Something about the silver, something about the quality from the film. And there's so many different types of films out there. I just found one that I'm going to play with. It's a Russian-made. It's got an ISO of 3, so it's really slow. So it's for landscapes. And rather than the clear background, it's a little bit milky, so it gives kind of a ethereal, kind of strange look to it. Also, there's fun films like infrared film, which when used with portraiture gives a unique and cool look to it. It's not easy to work with, but what you get out of it is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. And so there's the computer's nice, and there's a lot I can do in Photoshop. And I have to say too, most people think that if you're going to turn a picture into black and white in Photoshop, all you do is you take and move it from whatever to grayscale. It's like, oh, it's black and white. No, there's a whole lot of other stuff. Getting the right contrast, getting the right tonal range. So that's, making sure that the picture looks really good. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty much the extent of my Photoshop knowledge. Just change it to grayscale. Yes.
I only edit on the iPhone app that I have. It's very minimal.
Smash
Whatever filter is the best.
So Dunkin' Donuts and Apple both owe us money now. So let's call them up after the show, Eugene.
Okay.
So what types of shoots do you enjoy best, and why?
Oh, that's really tough because it varies. I like working with people. And it's hard to pin down because there's times that I've photographed kids and we have a great time. Partially because I'm still a kid at heart. So, I'll be sitting there in the sand with them, taking pictures. Portraits, I mean, it really depends. It depends a lot on the people. I mean, I've had people that are, most everyone I've worked with has been really a lot of fun to work with. And that makes it a joy. Occasionally, I get those people that have been, they got the face that they've been weaned on a pickle and just they're not having fun no matter what they do. And you do the best you can and make them as happy as they're going to be and move on. But I also like to do a lot of stuff on my own. I think probably playing with new stuff is always is my ultimate favorite. Like I just got a lens that it's a Russian made. It's a manual lens that will actually fit on my digital camera, and it is the coolest thing you've ever seen. The type of pictures it takes is fantastic. It's a perfect portrait lens, and so that's, I guess, maybe my experimental stuff is probably my most favorite.
Okay.
Eugene, did you see Frankie joined?
Yeah, I don't know what he tried to post, but
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
maybe it was a paintbrush.
Maybe. So we have a painter friend of ours, like not like a portrait painter that or the murals down there. He paints houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good kid though.
So, Kevin, where do you see photography in the next 10, 15, 20 years?
Oh.
Saved by the Bell?
Scott?
It's hard to say because, I mean, just in the years I've been involved, the leaps and bounds in technology has been, fantastic. I don't know if this is a good thing, I see a lot more people playing with drones. I was just at a wedding this weekend where at the end of the wedding they had a drone that took a picture of, it was an outdoor wedding. And so I see a little bit more with that. Although that's right now with PPFA, that's like one of the biggest hot topics.
Mm-hmm.
is what is, setting down the ground rules for photographers. Photo-wise, it goes secular. For a while, everyone was into the classic posing and that, and then they went to more of the photojournalistic style of photography. Now we're kind of moving back to the classics again. And so I down the line is probably going to be the snap and go type of stuff. It's really hard to say. I mean, you have to understand when like with video, actually there's one cool thing, there's one cool thing that's coming out. We did a seminar with this woman out of Seattle. Anyway, what it is, and I'm going to start playing with it, and this is where digital is cool. You actually video. You take it into Photoshop, you break it down to a short piece, and then what I can do is I send it to a lab. It looks like an ad. I then download an app into my phone, and when I look at that ad with my phone, it actually plays the video on the phone. So like you could put an ad for Traeger Insurance where it's a picture of you, and then when they look at it with the app, you tell them about what you do insurance-wise. It is the coolest thing you've ever seen. And I think that kind of thing is going to start to revolutionize being able to just look at something on your phone from an ad.
So we do have a question here from our gallery. from Chris. I'm not sure Chris who, but he wants to know if you do weddings. He or she. It could be a she.
Yeah. I don't. I've done them. I've been in that rodeo, and really, I haven't done it for so long. And there's so many other people that do better than I do, and it's a type of event that's the ultimate answer is no. But I can tell you, because of my affiliation, I can tell you people who do fantastic weddings. And that is an art to itself. And that's when I was talking about the generalist, there's people that all they do is weddings.
Yep.
Okay. I don't do that. I'll maybe in the last 4 years, I've done one. So now if someone really wants me to do one, I can do it for a large amount of money. They're going to get the best wedding they've ever seen. But no.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris, for the question. All right, so we do this in every show. We do this rapid fire round, 4 quick questions. You have to answer them off the top of your head. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard, some of them will make you sweat, some of them won't. Some make Eugene sweat. So Eugene, fire away.
All right, first question. Film or digital?
Oh, film. Film always.
I had a feeling.
Me too. Based on his previous answers.
Nikon or Canon?
Nikon.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I tell you why really quick?
Sure.
Nikon, I was reminded here recently, Nikon has not changed their mount. So I can actually take my manual Nikon lenses and put them on my digital camera and take pictures. Everyone else has changed the mount and you're not able to use manual lenses. And Nikon actually has made it so that I can use my manual lenses on my digital camera.
Ooh, interesting.
That is interesting. They do that so you have to spend money. Just like I got a new phone from LG, and the charger is different than the last LG I had, and it's like, so now when I want to charge phones, I have to use new chargers.
Well, it's like what Apple's about to do with their phone and get rid of the headphone jack, and you have to get the
Bluetooth,
the Lightning or Bluetooth connecting headphones.
Yeah.
So next question, your biggest passion outside of your business?
Well, it could be either making sawdust in my wood shop or brewing beer. So,
I will go with growing beer.
Yeah, brewing beer.
You're growing beer now, Eugene?
Yes.
All right. Let us know how that works out.
No.
You might be onto something. I don't know.
Maybe. It might be the
Best business advice you have received.
What?
Best business advice you have received ever.
When I was first starting out, a photographer friend of mine told me, he says, it's only film. Go out and take pictures. If what you're doing works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, stop doing it. And I've pretty much, because I've learned through the field. I went to college, didn't finish college, but everything I've learned out in what I've done. And I've always taken that to heart. If it works for me, I keep doing it. If it doesn't work for me, I don't do it.
Okay.
That's pretty good advice.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin, thanks for coming on. Before you go, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. What's the best ways to reach you?
Either you can shoot me an email at Kevin.
We could shoot you, but okay.
Okay. By the way, that's one reason I don't like to use the words photo shoot, because when you're at a coffee shop and you're saying, yeah, I like shooting women and children, people look at you funny. Anyway, they can send me an email at kevin@grinderphotography.com. They can go to my website, which is grinderphotography.com. You'll notice I try and keep it simple. And if they want, they can see some of my creative work at kevinrgrinder.myportfolio.com. And then you can see some of the more creative stuff I've done outside of my work.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us. Eugene, you want to remind everybody who we have next week?
Yeah, so next week, and actually the whole month of August, we're doing a nonprofit month. So every guest is just going to be a different person involved with a different nonprofit. So next week, we have Beards Abound / Milford Performance Center. I don't know much about them. Scott, maybe you can elaborate.
Yeah, so Beards Abound, what they do is they every year, actually, Kevin, this is probably up your alley. You may even know. I think you know them. But they take photographs of pictures. Yeah, photographs of pictures. They take photographs of people with beards, men with beards. Okay. I'm doing really good at this. And they are auctioned off, and money goes towards three different nonprofits that work with homeless people. I'm not exactly sure what each one of them does. And then Milford Performance Center is in development type thing, so it's not actually running yet. So that's big. But like Eugene said, all month for the entire month of August, I'm gonna learn to talk today. We're going to be talking to people involved with different nonprofits. So there'll be some really good ones coming up. So make sure you join us every Friday for the month of August. 11 a.m. Eastern, right? And learn about these nonprofits and what you could do to help. You could grow a beard like the three of us, or maybe there's another way you can help. So make sure you join us.
No Shave November is going to be here before we know it.
November's coming. I've been practicing, see. Kevin, any parting thoughts?
Well, golly gee whiz, you actually caught me speechless there. So,
well, his parting thoughts are golly gee whiz. So.
No, it's. I just heard my son yelled from upstairs.
I was gonna say I heard another voice. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah. So probably the best thing is for people to for those who want to do more with photography, just keep on taking pictures and go from there.
What?
Keep on keeping on. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us, and I'm sure we'll see you around. I visit Milford B&I every once in a while, so I'm sure I'll see you there.
Yeah. Well, it's always a joy when you come down and visit.
Yeah. Don't lie to him, Kevin. Kevin, you don't have to lie to him like that.
And I'd probably go to, was it Elm City?
It's Elm City. We're supposed to be in New Haven. We're like 30 seconds over the border of New Haven into East Haven.
Yeah.
If you trip and fall, you land in where we are. Yeah, you should visit. Oh, we do have a photographer in our group now, but yeah, it doesn't mean you can't visit.
You can visit. Yeah. You like visitors.
That's right.
All right.
All right, gentlemen, I have to run and do some fatherly duty, and I will talk to you later.
Just remember, don't Pokemon Go and drive.
I'm going to drive right by your office and throw a rock through your window, Eugene.
That's okay. Just don't Pokemon Go and drive.
I don't even think it's on my phone anymore, but all right.
All right. Later. Have a good day and weekend, everybody.
Later.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend.
You too.